Go ahead and interrupt me again. GOP Senator fires back at CNN's Jake Tapper. Hello and welcome to TST. If you are new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive authentic news that you can rely on daily. Republican Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson appeared to lose patience with CNN anchor Jake Tapper during a brief exchange on the House Democrats' continued push for impeachment. Johnson made an appearance on Sunday morning's episode of State of the Union, and the conversation quickly turned to the most recent testimony about President Donald Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. A lot of people, whether it is Gordon Sondland or Fiona Hill or Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, one after the other understood your point of view from, the president opposes corruption in Ukraine, and who wouldn't oppose corruption but in actuality. And I think Fiona Hill used the term code. This is actually code for investigate the Bidens. Tapper began. Again, that is their impression. I've never heard the president say, no, I want to dig up dirt on a potential 2020 opponent. Johnson replied, what I always heard the president consistently concerned about is what happened in 2016. Why did this? How did this false narrative of Russian collusion with my campaign occur? Why was I strapped with this special counsel? And there are two investigations about that, right? There were two investigations, Tapper interrupted. It is a very humane desire, Johnson finished his thought before turning on Tapper. Jake, you are interrupting me, but go ahead and interrupt me again. He shrugged. Tapper pushed back, arguing that there were already two investigations into the origins of the Mueller investigation. In May, the Attorney General appointed a former U.S. Attorney John Durham, who is very respected, to investigate the origins of the Russia investigation. There is also the Inspector General for the Justice Department investigating whether or not the FBI conducted any FISA abuse or any other abuses. Tapper protested. And by the way, I continue with my oversight with Senator Chuck Grassley, and interesting things have occurred. Johnson pushed back. The Politico article back in 2017 named Alexander Chalupa as an American Ukrainian hired by the DNC, and now, through the Freedom of Information Act, we found out she visited the White House 27 times during the campaign. Johnson went on to say that she had met with over a dozen Ukrainian journalists, which he tied to the information that brought down Paul Manafort, adding that Nellie Orr had also talked about meeting with the Ukrainians. Take a look.
Meant Biden, that's what it actually meant. A lot of the people, whether it's Gordon Sondland or Fiona Hill or Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, one after the other, understood your point of view from the president opposes corruption in Ukraine, and who wouldn't oppose corruption, but that in actuality, what they came to see was actually, and I think Fiona Hill used the term code, this was actually code for investigate the Bidens.
Well, again, that's their impression. I've never heard the president say, I want to dig up dirt on a potential 2020 opponent. What I've always heard the president consistently concerned about is what happened in 2016. Why did this, how did this false narrative of Russian collusion with my campaign occur? Why was I strapped with a special counsel?
Right, and there are two investigations about that, right?
There are two investigations of what happened there. It's a very human desire. Jake, you are interrupting me, but go ahead and interrupt me again.
Well, I just want to say, in terms of the investigations into the origins, in May, the Attorney General appointed a former U.S. Attorney, John Durham, who's very respected, to investigate the origins of the Russia investigation. There's also the Inspector General for the Justice Department investigating whether or not the FBI conducted any FISA abuse or any other abuses. There are investigations into that already by the United States law enforcement community.
And by the way, I continue with my oversight with Senator Chuck Grassley, and some pretty interesting things have occurred. The Politico article back in 2017 named Alexandra Chalupa as an American Ukrainian that was hired by the DNC. Now, through Freedom of Information Act requests, we found out that she visited the White House 27 times during the campaign. In our oversight letter, we point out that she had a meeting with 68 Ukrainian journalists. A month later, the Black Ledger digging up dirt on dropping the dime on Paul Manafort occurred. And Nellie Orr also talks about working with a
Paul Manafort's
Ukrainian
in prison.
Politician that is completely admitted trying to dig up dirt on President Trump as well. So there's a lot of smoke out there. There's a lot of questions that remain unanswered. And from my perspective, it's a completely legitimate concern on the part of President Trump to find out what happened. I mean, why have I been tormented? Where's this effort to sabotage my presidency since the day after the election? I'd be asking the same questions. And by the way, I am asking the same questions.
So that's not what President Trump is pushing for.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you've liked this report, please share among friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to Top Stories Today. Thank you for tuning in to TST. I'm David Ravine, and you have a very wonderful day.